What's up, guys? Jacques Slade here, and today I'm actually on Adidas headquarters for something very, very special. It's this shoe, the Dame 3, that you see in several different iterations and versions of the shoe before it gets to the final product. But I'm obviously not here by myself. I have two very special guests. Can you guys go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, Alex Zerzan, product marketing.
And Jesse Rademacher, the designer of the Dame 3.
Let's just start off with the big question that everybody wants to know. What did Dame have to do with the design of this shoe?
Dame is we're incredibly lucky being based in Portland and having him play for the Portland Trail Blazers. He is incredibly involved with every aspect of his footwear. That's kind of the overall. Let Jesse talk more about the design process. But we're definitely beneficial.
So the Dame 3 is about Damien as a player, as a musician, but most importantly as a person.
Right.
And it's about his humble beginnings and the origin of his first hoop. And we wouldn't be able to have that information and to build an entire story around that if it wasn't for him really opening up and allowing us into his life and in bringing these to life. And so through him being a musician and an artist, he's really used to telling stories. Right. He's a storyteller.
Absolutely.
And so from a design perspective, it's just pure gold to be able to work with somebody like that.
That's awesome. So I kind of see two different parts of the shoe. There's the technical, like the traction, the cushioning, and the shape and the lines and that part of the shoe. And then there's also the storytelling, which you talked about a bit. Can we talk about some like the technical side? Like technically, what is the Dame 3? What are the technical components of the Dame 3?
Yeah, absolutely. When designing Dame's third shoe, we need to evolve it, right? And there are things that he absolutely loves, like the bounce midsole, that we wanted to carry over on the 3 as well.
Right.
A booty construction also is something that's very important to him. He likes the fit of it, so we wanted to carry those over. The biggest tech upgrade is this fused mesh, and really fused mesh is the upper that's featured on the Dame 3. And what it is it's yarns, it's TPU coated yarns mixed with regular yarns, and it allows us to heat it up in certain areas to fuse it. It removes overlays, so we can remove weight. It's extremely durable, right? We're talking about TPU. So in the areas that the athlete needs the shoe to be durable and really stand up to whether it's playing indoor or outdoor, we fused. But it also allows us to be extremely breathable, and it all came from a key insight from Damien. He doesn't like shoes that he has to break in. He wants to be able to take the shoe out of the box, put it on, and go out and hoop. And really, that was something that we wanted to make sure we got right on the Dame 3, and fused mesh really allowed that to happen.
Now, I'm looking here at the outsole. Typically, when you think about an outsole, you think of herringbone traction for an outsole. This looks a little bit different. Can you kind of talk us a little bit about what's happening here?
It's a version of herringbone, right? Herringbone is a multi-directional traction pattern, so that no matter what type of movement you're doing, you're getting the best bite out of it. We took that, we broke it apart, and this starts to get into some of the storytelling as well. So there's a fusion between the technical side and the storytelling.
Right.
They're angled in certain angles in certain locations based on athlete movements, and you got to see some of the Aramis studies and traction data that we curate from athletes, not just like Dame, but at all levels.
Right.
Damien, at his core and at his essence, developed on shooting on a milk crate.
Right.
There's a telephone pole outside of his mother's or grandmother's home, and his grandfather would tack up milk crates, and that became his first hoop. So you wonder why he has one of the purest shots in the game.
Absolutely.
And so there's a reason that there's no curvy, wavy, wandering lines on this shoe. It's very direct and it's very focused. And so the outsole, whether it's the color blocking itself, whether it's the tread pattern itself, speak back into that type of mindset that Damien has.
So this is the sample. If a person's looking at this, how do they interpret this?
This is the first time that we take something from 2D, so going from a sketch or on a computer or illustration, and actually start to wonder what it looks like. And so when you're dealing with all these hard angles and these sharp lines, they're not plastered on something flat. They're on a 3D form. They're wrapping the foot. And so we knew that things were going to start to curve. Those straight lines are going to start to curve as they wrap around the foot. But this is also a tool for us. This is a way that Dame is very used to starting a creative process by scratching and scribbling notes in a notepad. We do the same with sketches. But this is a tool to help him understand how it goes from that sketch into something that's a 3D form. So this is the first time that we ourselves are seeing it, and then it's a way for him to start to visualize what it might look like at the end of the day.
I'll grab this one over here.
Yeah,
one
sure.
thing that catches my attention right away is the tongue and the shape of the tongue and how high it rises. Can we speak to that a little bit?
Really we wanted to continue what Damien liked about his previous two shoes, the 1 and the 2, was the booty construction. There's a million different ways that you can construct a booty construction on a shoe. And so with this one, to go back to Jesse's design inspiration of the story of Dame not wanting to waver, you see a lot of very direct lines. It was really the athlete inside of wanting a booty construction reinterpreted with a design lens to really tell that story of those direct lines.
And when you think about the D. Lillard 1, D. Lillard 2, and now renaming Dame 3, it's a way, he always had almost like a tweener height. So all of his shoes kind of sit in that 5/8 heights. And so that's where you're seeing things that are extending up beyond maybe a more traditional look.
Now, a couple questions that I've gotten over on Twitter and stuff like that are asking, why is he still on Bounce? Why doesn't he have Boost? Why won't Adidas give Dame Boost?
Yeah, so it's I'm glad you asked that question. It's actually something that comes from Dame. He loves Bounce. He loves the way that it feels and how it performs on court. But then also being a man of the people and coming from the background that he did, he wants his fans to be able to access his shoes from a price point. Being able to put it on Bounce allows us to keep the shoe at $115. So really, regardless of who you are or where you come from, you can afford his footwear. I think he said he wants his real fans to be able to afford the shoe, and that's something that's pretty unique.
No, and that's important. I think as an athlete, to be able to connect with your audience, and that's one of I would say the key characteristics of Dame is him being a man of the people, or being someone that hasn't forgotten where they came from or forgotten their roots.
Sure.
And I love that he stays true to that. I'll say just one more question. There's a lot of details on the shoe that speak to who Dame is as a person. Like there's some hidden stuff on here, and I don't want to give it all away, and I don't want you guys to give it all away. But I'll have you pick one that you want to talk about, and I'll have you pick one that you want to talk about, and we'll point out some others that people can find out themselves. Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Okay, so pick out one that you like.
So I'm actually going to go with the reason why this shoe is the color that it is, and it's we call it roots, right? And it actually ties back to when he was playing AAU basketball. His coach at the time, whenever they were late to practice or didn't do something right, they would go out into the parking lot. And part of the conditioning is they would grab these bricks, right? And that's why it's red, to represent the bricks. And they would hold these bricks out to the side as punishment, right?
Right.
You only have to do that a handful of times to really realize, okay, I'm going to be on time. We're going to execute this correctly. So that's one of my favorite parts about this shoe is each colorway has a unique story, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to tell stories and Damien's story through product and colorways.
Really, to me, it's the numbers on the bottom.
Right.
It's a little bit coded. It's not in your face, and that's the way we wanted to build details into the shoe instead of stamp them onto the shoe.
Right.
And that's the code of 56316, and being that post and that goal. But its location is also really important, and it's centered here as the epicenter of who he is, and then you actually see. Maybe this one's easier to see. These lines start to radiate up off of this, and it kind of creates a cradle into the lacing system. And really that's meant to be intentional to represent the support system that he had growing up. And so we wanted him to, no matter if a game is going well or going poorly, to be able to look down and be reminded of those moments that were most influential in his life, and that those people are there no matter what the haters have to say.
And that's actually represented as well in the shoe. If you look at the front of the shoe, you put the left and the right together, you're seeing initials. And on one shoe, you're seeing his grandmother's initial along with his mom's, and then on the other, you're seeing his grandfather's initial with his dad. So those are really the people that led the way. Family first is what he always says, and that's why Jesse put them on the front, because it's leading the way.
That's why they're on the front. That's awesome. So there's some numbers here. We won't give it away. So there's numbers here that they can figure out, and there's also some numbers
Different
here,
numbers on
different
that
numbers
side.
here that they can figure out. Are there any other things that they should know about, maybe that they can't see right away?
You have to pick it up and see.
We'll start with those.
We'll start with those. All right, guys. Well, this is live from the Adidas headquarters with the Dame 3, not the D-Lillard 3. Thank you for correcting like that. As always, guys, I appreciate you. Make sure you turn on your notifications on this channel, like, favorite, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. I'm Jacques Slade with these super cool guys from Adidas. I'm going to go talk some more to them about design and tech stuff. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.